Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. I am going to be scrapbooking these 3 photos right here. And this is the sketch for 30 Days of Sketches. It is by Lori Roach Ross, and I am excited to get these pictures scrapbooked. So let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I have these photos of Alex, and he is thoroughly enjoying his barrel of Utz cheese balls. Now, you guys, we are originally from Maryland, and Utz is a Hanover, Pennsylvania company, and you know, we kind of adopted Utz over in Maryland. You know, the Utz girl and the Natty Bow guy, you know, got together and we kind of adopted her. So we feel like Utz is a home thing. And it's weird because when we talk about Maryland, Maryland is only home when we're talking about food. And that might seem really weird to you guys, but Maryland's only home when we talk about food. Home is wherever I am with Christopher. So home has changed multiple times over the years. Home has been Maryland, home has been Delaware, home has been California, and home is now in Washington. And I know that some people don't have that same kind of feeling, like home is where you grew up. But for me, home is with Christopher, and that has changed over the years. So, but both of us feel that way. He doesn't consider Maryland home anymore either, unless we're talking about food. So Utz, total home moment for us, right? And for the kids. It's pretty awesome that Utz cheese balls are kind of all over the country now. But Utz potato chips aren't. And that's a sad thing in our lives. So, okay, enough about the food. We're going to actually scrapbook the photos. So in the sketch, there are 3 different sized photos. I just went, I think, did I cut these down into 3 different sizes? I might have. The 2 photos on the side are definitely cut down from the 4x6. And I think, I don't remember if I cut down the photo on the left, and frankly, I wasn't looking at the screen while I was talking about potato chips, so I missed that. Sorry about that. I do have these older stickers. They have been in my stash for a hot minute. They are from Simple Stories, I believe. I have a bunch of them. They are in cream, black, white, no, cream, black, red, and green, and they all say the same things. And they've just been in my Christmas stash for a minute. So I am going to put this down. It's going to say not hoppy, that would be for Easter, happy holidays. And I do decide to go ahead and put the dot over top of the I, which is something I don't do a whole heck of a lot with lowercase i's, because when I print, I do not place a dot over the I. When I cursive, I do place a dot over the I, but not when I print. So that was, I guess I was feeling some kind of way about it. So these pine cones and pine boughs, I guess, are from MK's shop, which is some assemblage required. Now these are a green acrylic pine, right? And I could tell that she had added some alcohol ink to them. And I wanted to add more alcohol ink to them to kind of get them to a deeper color on the top. The photos aren't going to show it really great because of the lighting, but the top of the pine is a lot darker than what it used to be, and you can only get acrylic in so many colors, guys. So that is a thing. Speaking of acrylic, I have been asked to restock some things on the website and actually get some things cut. That will be happening soon. I can only promise soon right now. Doing a lot of things in life at the moment, and that's all I've got is soon. But that will be happening. So I am going to figure out where I want to put the embellishments, because at this point I'm kind of not looking at the sketch. I'm not referring to it. I'm not really doing anything like, okay, I've got to meet the sketch in this way. I have gotten inspiration from the photo placement, and now I am doing things my way, which is the way I like to do them, right? Also, fun fact, after I completed this layout, that Simple Stories foam sticker sheet thing that I have over here on the left-hand side was really cool. I got to combine it into one side, so that makes me happy. Combining it into one side lessens the space that it takes in your stash. And you guys know I am all about using the stash so you can buy more stash. So the more room you have, the more you can buy, right? Like, so I have a finite amount of space, right? Do I have space for more in my finite amount of space right now? Yes. Do I want to max out that finite amount of space? No. I want to have room for growth. And you get that room for growth by two ways: using it up so you have room to bring in more, or purging it so you have room to bring in more. I would much prefer to use it than purge it, right? Not saying that there have not been times where I've purged things. I have recently purged a bunch of things. And a lot of that, I purged a bunch of other companies' stencils, right? Because I make my own stencils. I make the stencils I want to use. Scrapping Reflections makes stencils, right? Like, my business makes stencils. They make 12 by 12 stencils, and I love a 12 by 12 stencil. So I purged a bunch of stencils that were either very similar, or ones I never used, or ones that were gifted to me with an order, or like the ones when I first started liking stencils, I would go to the craft stores and buy stencils out of like the stencil area where you would stencil on a wall. So I got rid of those kind of stencils. So I purged that so I have room, right? Which is good because I'm not ever purging my Scrapping Reflections stencils. So let's be very clear about that. So that had to happen, right? What else did I purge? I went through and combined sticker sheets and things like that and purged the stickers that I would never use. I found a couple random butterflies still stuck in this room, and those got purged. I went through all of my glazes and combined and purged empty things there. Like, there was definitely purging going on, but not purging because I fell out of love with something. It was stuff that I knew I wasn't ever going to love, like the butterflies should have been gone a long time ago, or the other things. So anyway, I went ahead and you saw me alcohol ink those acrylic pieces up. The only thing I did was take a couple dollops of alcohol ink on a piece of felt on a really old Tim Holtz applicator, the nice rectangle ones, right? Like, everything is moved to the circles, and these were great, so I'm not getting rid of them. And I just dabbed it on top of it, and then did that with a secondary green as well. That gave it a little bit more dimension. Now, I'm also taking this close to my heart glitter pen, which I have no idea if they even sell these right now. Like, is this something that's still left on their website? I don't know. All I know is I have to place my order before it gets too late and I can't get things I want. So I need to do that. So anyway, I am coloring in bits and pieces on these pine cones to kind of give them a little bit more dimension, right? Like, they are one wood veneer color with engraved pine cone lines on top of them. So you know that they are supposed to be pine cones. They're not just a silhouette shape. But I want it more, right? So I'm going to put this close to my heart glitter pen on there. I'm going to blot it off with a paper towel, and then I'm going to take some Distress Oxide, and I am going to distress over it because I wanted my pine cones to be a little bit darker than the wood color, right? And so I get that, and that makes me happy with how I have it. Now, I definitely want to overlap my acrylic and my pine cones. Now, neither one of them are too terribly thick. And basically, when I overlap them together, It's basically, I just said basically. So anyway, it is about, we'll use a different word, two pop foams on top of each other. So I'm not thinking that the layout is extremely thick, because two pop foams on top of each other is something that I do, right? Like that isn't too terribly thick. It does feel like it's a lot thicker than that because everything else is so flat. The photos are flat. The title is flat. Any other decoration besides these little bit of clusters that I have going on here with the pine cones and the branches is flat. So it does feel like it's thicker than it actually really is. Like I was having a moment where I started to have palpitations like, oh, what am I doing? But ultimately, I like what I have. So I was completely happy with that. I am going to figure out exactly how I want these pieces to layer up on top of each other, what I want tucked in, what I want on top. Now, I do cover up a tremendous amount of the H in happy, or is it holidays? I don't know. I don't remember, but I know I cover up a tremendous amount of one of the H's, and I think you can still read it. It isn't like you're going to say, what's a happy holiday? No, and if you're going to do that, then you're being a butt. Like, let's just face it. You're just being a butt. But you can read it. You can tell what it says. I can read it. It is completely fine. Fun fact, Alex is wearing his Christmas pajamas this morning. He just has his NSA sweatshirt on top of it because he was chilly. I do have another layout coming up for 30 Days of Sketches where it is all three of the kids in their Christmas pajamas, and he's still wearing the NSA sweatshirt. So, but it's fine, right? Like, it's totally fine. Yeah. So, Christmas pajamas, that's just a fun tradition that didn't start out that way, but it turned out pretty cool. Okay, so I am going to use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to adhere all of this stuff down onto the layouts. The things that I'm layering on top of the acrylic and wood veneer, and then also the acrylic and wood veneer themselves. Now, in the pictures, I do think you're still going to see some of the wet glue, but I am not concerned about that because when it does dry, it will dry matte and it will also dry clear. So there's not going to be like shiny glue residue. And if you need a place to get yourself some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, I'm going to do a little store plug in here. I know I talked about it earlier, but Scrapbook Reflections has Nuvo Deluxe in stock, and it is the big bottle, so there is that. Also, side note, Cocoa Vanilla Studio Restock has been chilling out in customs for a couple days. So as soon as it gets through the customs, it gets in my hands, I'll get it up on the website. I do know I have had some questions about that. So it is coming. It is in customs. And then after I placed that restock order, I actually placed an order for other Cocoa Vanilla stuff as well. Previous collections that I had sold out of and had restock requests. So when that makes it over here, that'll be up on the website as well. Anyway, and I also have to place an order for some other things that need to go on the website. I just got to get the website updated with the stuff, right? Because we all want the stuff. Okay, so now that I've got those on there, I am going to see what other things need to happen. I felt like the Happy Holidays title needed more on it. It didn't feel like this was the place where your eye was drawn. It felt like that bird's nest down at the bottom that I added because I only had 3 pine cones and I wanted to have 4 areas of the pine needles. It felt like that is where your eye was drawn, right? Like that is kind of a big bold shape in a dark place on the layout, and it was just like, this is where your eye is going. So I decided that I needed to change that. And how I did that was I pulled out a foam sticker Christmas tree, and I'm going to go ahead and cut pieces out of it so that I guess I already did that. You can see it up there in the top. I got to start looking at what I'm doing while I'm talking because I kind of lose my place with where I am actually in the scrapbooking. So anyway, I cut off some of the branches so it would nestle into there. I also added in a puffy sticker that adds a little bit more weight to that area. And now it feels like that is like the hefty area. That is where your eye is going after you see the pictures of Alex absolutely stuffing his face with the cheese balls. Now, this is not to say other people did not stuff their face with the cheese balls. This is just I had the phone in my hand and Alex was the one doing it, so he was the one that got his picture taken. And then up at the top, I just write out Alex and his uts. And in the middle of that, my pen died, so that went into the trash. I ended up grabbing a different pen to finish that off. And then that is going to do it for this layout, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the playlist so you can see everyone's layouts that they are doing for 30 days of sketches. The month is almost finished. Next month, I will be doing the start of the Never Ending Kit based on Chamel's collection, Main Character Energy. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.